Hey guys! I'm back with part 2 of my watercolor eyes. And yep, this time we're painting an older eye too. Alright, let's dive right in. We're starting with the older eye. I know this one looks super fun to paint. First thing I do is grab my masking liquid, aka that sticky magic stuff, and use a thin brush to paint a few white eyebrow hairs. Once that dries, I move on to painting the skin around the eye, just like in part 1. For this one, I'm working with complementary colors, yellow and purple. I start with a soft yellow wash all over the skin, then mix yellow and purple to get a nice neutral brown for the shadows. While the paper is still damp, I paint those darker areas. It helps everything blend beautifully. Once it's dry, I grab some purple again to shape all those wrinkles and folds. This part is honestly my favorite. It's where the texture really starts to pop. All the colors so far come from just yellow and purple, by the way. Depending on which one you add more of, you'll get completely different tones. So play around with that. Keep layering those deeper parts until you get the right depth. Then we move to the eyeball. For the whites, I use a super light blue wash and outline the edges with red for that realistic touch. Now I go back and darken the wrinkles a bit. We want that realistic, slightly tired look. For the iris, I start with a light blue base, then mask out the highlights again with masking fluid, and darken the edges around the pupil. Once that's dry, I remove the masking and add the eyebrow hairs, using a thin brush to mix a few gray ones in between the whites. It gives that natural salt and pepper look. Next, I deepen the iris, adding darker blue around the edge and pulling those fine lines toward the center. When the cornea is done, I peel off the masking fluid and add some lash shadows over the highlighted spots with dark blue. Then the fun part, painting the eyelashes. I use a fine brush, go slow and done. First eye complete. Now let's move on to the second eye. This one's younger and has way fewer wrinkles, so I focused more on the iris and its colors. This iris is a mix of brown and green. I start with a light brown wash, then layer on olive green, and finally a deep forest green. Once it's dry, I add the cornea and the shadows right above the pupil. For the whites of the eye, same as before, light blue base with red around the edges for contrast. Then I use brown and green again to paint those tiny lines inside the iris. That's what gives it that sparkly, realistic look. For lash shadows, I use a thin brush, blue for the whites and black for the darker areas around the pupil. As a little color challenge, I kept the skin tones around this eye similar to the ones I used for the iris, layering browns and greens to get those subtle light and shadow transitions. I didn't want to overdo the skin details this time, so I jumped straight to the eyebrows and lashes. And done! Second eye complete. If you liked this video, definitely check out part 1 too. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share, so we can keep painting more watercolor magic together. Bye!